always from the heart of the city, and now on demand 24/7 on the CHFI website. This is the soundtrack to Arrivals and Departures. And I'm Don Jackson, around the world on the internet. John Andrew Holmes, and quoted in the July 1983 issue of the Reader's Digest, said, "A child enters your home, and for the next 20 years makes so much noise that you can hardly stand it. Then the child departs, leaving the house so silent that you think you are going mad." Unquote. Again from the July 1983 issue of the Reader's Digest, the Points to Ponder column. This hour, some arrivals and departures from iTunes and CHFI.com. Amy Sky's Ordinary Miracles and Chicago, If You Leave Me Now. And I'm Don Jackson from iTunes and CHFI.com. This hour, arrivals and departures. This is called Appointed Moment. It was written by Joseph R. Sizu. Things come to pass as they do, and when they do, because the time is right. Events come into being because the world is ready for them. Nothing comes unannounced or unexpected. If we could interpret accurately the forces and the tumults that play in the world, we should never be caught off guard. Nothing ever happens until the hour has struck. Life in this universe runs on a divine schedule. The celestial calendar marks with an unerring precision the exact arrival of events. In the belfry of heaven, the clock always strikes on time. It is never early, and it is never late. The ships of destiny arrive at their ports of call at the moment they should arrive. If we could untangle the mysteries of life and unravel the energies which run through the world, if we could evaluate correctly the significance of passing events, if we could measure the struggles, dilemmas, and aspirations of mankind, we would find that nothing is born out of time. Everything comes at its appointed hour. The words of Joseph R. Sizu. And George Buttrick said, "We live on a moving line between past and future. That line is our lifeline." Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Kelly Clarkson and Breakaway and Bryan Adams on a day like today. And I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. This is one of the most popular writings I have ever featured. I always receive comments about it. It is author unknown and called About Love. And I quote, "If you find yourself in love with someone who does not love you, be gentle with yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. Love just didn't choose to rest in the other person's heart. If you find someone else in love with you and you don't love him, her, feel honored that love came and called at your door, but gently refuse the gift you cannot return. Do not take advantage. Do not cause pain. How you deal with love is how you deal with you, and all our hearts feel the same pains and joys, even if our lives and ways are different. If you fall in love with another and she falls in love with you, and then love chooses to leave, do not try to reclaim it or to assess blame. Let it go. There is a reason and a meaning. You will know in time. Remember that you don't choose love. Love chooses you. All you can really do is accept it for all its mystery when it comes into your life. Feel the way it fills you to overflowing, then reach out and give it away. Give it back to the person who brought it alive in you. Give it to others who deem it poor in spirit. Give it to the world around you in any way you can. This is where many lovers go wrong. Having been so long without love, they understand love only as a need. They see their hearts as empty places that will be filled by love, and they begin to look at love as something that flows to them rather than from them. The first blush of new love is filled with overflowing, but as their love cools, they revert to seeing their love as need. They cease to be someone who generates love, and instead become someone who seeks love. They forget that the secret of love is that it is a gift, and that it can be made to grow only by giving it away. Remember this. Keep it to your heart. Love has its own time, its own seasons, and its own reason for coming and going. You cannot bribe it or coerce it or reason it into staying. You can only embrace it when it arrives and give it away when it comes to you. But if it chooses to leave from your heart or from the heart of your lover, there is nothing you can do, and there is nothing you should do. Love always has been and always will be a mystery. Be glad that it came to live for a moment in your life. If you keep your heart open, it will come again. Lovers and Other Strangers. Wonderful writing called About Love. I'm Don Jackson. Whitney Houston, and I Will Always Love You. Celine Dion, That's the Way It Is, and Lady Antebellum, and Need You Now. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. This is called The Size of Your Heart. Its author, unknown. It isn't the size of your house as such that matters so much at all. It's the gentle hand and loving touch that make it great or small. The friends who come and the hour they who out of your house depart will judge it not by the style you show, but rather by the size of your heart. It isn't the size of your head so much. It isn't the wealth you found that will make you happy. It's how you touch the lives that are all around. For making money is not hard. To live life well is an art. How people love you, how they regard, is all in the size of your heart. Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. And Michael Buble, Coming Home. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. This is an excerpt from Letters from Colette, edited by Robert Phelps and published by Farrar, Straus, and Giroux. And I quote, "As I opened the drawer of my little desk, a single letter fell out. A letter from my mother, written in pencil, one of her last, with unfinished words and an implicit sense of her departure. It's so curious. One can resist tears and behave very well in the hardest hours of grief. But then, someone makes you a friendly sign behind a window. Or one notices that a flower that was in bud only yesterday has suddenly blossomed. Or a letter slips from a drawer. And everything collapses. Unquote. And Jean-Paul Richter wrote, "Each departed friend is a magnet that attracts us to the next world." Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Supremes, and someday we'll be together, and Justin Hines, and I wish you well. I'm Don Jackson with Lovers and Other Strangers from iTunes and CHFI.com. Linda Paston, in a poem Terminal from The 5 Stages of Grief, published by Norton, wrote, "For every departure, there is an arrival. It is the law of the axe, whose handle was a tree. It is the secret the fire caves in upon, whose smoke disappears along its own trail. The leaves push off again, a whole fleet of small sails, and no one knows where they land. Children wave from train windows, their years growing heavy on their backs. But somewhere a cloud is forming that will flower here in petals of snow, and light from a star that started toward us 1,000,000 years ago arrives at last." Good night, sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.